we are back live on IBGR.network. I want to say welcome. You're listening to IBGR.network. IBGR is our call sign as a radio station, but we're more than a radio station. We're a network. I'm Arthie Moore, your host for today, and I'm talking into visionary entrepreneur. And I was excited to talk areas that talk into my soul. In my season 3, The Compassionate Leader of Influence. It is a book that I'm writing, and I know that it's going to add so much more value to everybody around me. So I thought that for this season, which is season 4, The People Lane, and we're in episode 3, we're talking about the visionary entrepreneur because I feel that right now, we're at a stage in our lives where we can add value to people by understanding and having clarity for ourselves. So where does compassion come into this? How does being intentional add value to others? Where does a success mentality versus a scarcity mentality overcome the obstacles we have right now based on lockdown, based on situations, based on rules, regulations, policies, and procedures that the current pandemic has put on our entire world. So when you look at global impact, all of these need to come into play. And I spoke about one of the areas we've got to be so cognizant of is defining you. And then our last one I was talking about is celebrating humanity. International. That regardless of their culture, we need to celebrate even their talents, even their personality types, their learning styles. There's a brilliance to every human being. And I believe that our ability to celebrate them as people is an imperative to be a visionary entrepreneur. So when we look at all of these areas, I am looking at what I can do differently and how I can actually be of service to people. Now, I always say that because Moore-Robberts, my partner, incredible human being, always talks about that. He talks about servant leadership, and it is something that's always intrigued me, and I've been learning from him. So when you look at our current situation, I want to read for you something that I wrote recently, and I thought it was so relevant to being a visionary entrepreneur. I spoke about a couple of the U's that we need to talk about, not Y-O-U, but the alphabet U. So if I looked at the 4 U's, we need to currently, to become more of a visionary entrepreneur, take into account how we need to upgrade, first U, upgrade, update, unleash, and unravel. Now, I got carried away with the U's and I thought, oh man, this is so fantastic. And it is something that I really, really am getting, thrilled about using an alphabet and finding out what exciting words can attach to it and then use it intentionally in my everyday life. So, upgrade, update, unleash, and unravel. Now, there are many reasons why the visionary entrepreneur is about to take 2021 by storm, but it begs to become a watch the space moment only if we become more focused. Whilst most of us are still reeling from the aftermath of lockdown, social distancing, and opposing camps fighting the need to have choice, entrepreneurs have been struggling to make sense of where business starts and innovation continues. Now, I was talking about this last week as well, because I see this as a time, a beautiful moment in history where we have clearer choices to make and more opportunities to regroup, adjust, and demand the best of our current situations in our favor. I believe that it is only possible if we step up and actually have clarity in where we are heading and know why we're making the choices we feel are imperative to our future. That is why we as visionary entrepreneurs have got more opportunity than many people out there who are still reeling from the aftermath. So when you think about it, the way I see it, the visionary entrepreneur is sitting on the threshold of unlimited possibilities, one that demands balance, boundaries, and belief. Now, there's three B's here once again: balance, boundaries, and beliefs. Now, the three B's are those three B's that will surely fast track your ability to understand your own journey first before deciding what part or what path to embark on personally. So, when you look at what we're delving into here right now, there are certain things that we need to look at from an owner's perspective. A lot of owners want to understand, where do I have influence, impact, and innovation as the compass bearings for a visionary entrepreneur? How can you use those three eyes as well? What is the entrepreneurial mindset? What is abundance versus scarcity mentality all about? How do I create collaborative partnerships and strategic partnerships? Now, these are all of the things I was thinking into earlier. And then some other areas I thought about. People always ask me, what does vision have to do with entrepreneurship? And I actually say it has everything to do with it. It's everything to do with it. Because if you don't have a vision of where you're heading, what are you giving to your people? What are you serving them in terms of quality, in terms of a product, in terms of a service? If you don't understand and have a vision of where you are heading, what are you taking your people towards as well? Are you going to limit yourself to a once off sale, a once off interaction, or you're going to build a vision of people actually looking at you as somebody who's got knowledge and expertise that they want? They want to create a long lasting relationship with you, your company, your brand, your image, what you've got to share with the world. They're willing to actually, by word of mouth, market you. When you look at the visionary entrepreneur, they're never limited by their circumstances. And I think that is an important one. Because when you look at Elon Musk, and I know that now he's become the richest man in the world, the richest billionaire in the world, look at what he's done differently. Look at the power that he had. He didn't just have a vision and hoped it would come to fruition. There's a difference. Visionary entrepreneurs do not sit and wait for the universe to provide. They have a vision and then they surround themselves with people who know and understand where they're heading and encourage them to join them and add value by listening carefully to what they have got to say. So when you look at him, he had a vision and surrounded himself with the right people to implement, perfect, and create his vision, which means that Elon Musk was not stuck to his brain only. I am the only person who knows and understands where I'm heading. No, he's got thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who are guiding, supporting, and perfecting his stuff. He doesn't have to know everything. Visionary entrepreneur does not have to be the be all and end all of everything in the business. They need to just build the influence enough to the point where they believe so strongly in what they have that people want to add their expertise and help them to fast track their success. So when you think about it, a visionary thinks on behalf of millions of people. So as a visionary entrepreneur, you're not limited to selling your product or your niche service or whatever you provide only to people that are in your sphere of influence. A visionary entrepreneur is able to delve into a global spectrum of influence that fast tracks their success and is never limited. That is why the visionary entrepreneur has unlimited possibilities. Take Elon Musk once again. What he did was he wanted a safe payment method, so he created PayPal. Now, he didn't sit there and physically create it. He had the vision for it, and he brought all of the experts together who then created the product. They marketed it. They found the target people to connect with. They worked out what is the call to action. How do you get this payment method into the hands of people who are suffering? You see, the visionary entrepreneur looks at the pain points in this world and they build something. They create a solution. They add value. They challenge thinking. They challenge mindsets. They challenge belief systems. They challenge themselves. And so when you think about it from a different point of view, Elon Musk, Picasso, he founded Tesla Motors. Now, how powerful is that? To sit and think about something is stunning. to implement it, to bring it to fruition, that's powerful. To bring other people into the fold, into your vision, mind-blowing. To get them to buy into your vision, to get them to spread your vision, absolutely epic. Now that is a journey I want to follow. I want to follow visionaries, not as visionary thinkers. I don't want people to sit and tell me that they've had a vision of the future and this is what they foresee. I want to follow the visionary entrepreneurs who have a vision of the future, vision of something powerful, a vision of something that is of quality, that adds value to people, uplifts people, alleviates the challenges in this world, impacts on a global scale, and helps people to grow. I want to follow visionary entrepreneurs in that way. And when we look at it, we understand that when Elon Musk said he wants to go to space, he created SpaceX. When he said he wanted faster transportation, he is now currently building a hyperloop. Now, how unlimited is his possibilities? And to become the richest man in the world means that a visionary entrepreneur does not have to be poor. You do not have a scarcity mentality. You do not have to feel guilty about money because money is a tool, and with money as a tool, the more you have, the more people you can impact. The more you have, the more experts you can bring into your life. The more you have of money, the more you can alleviate the challenges of people. The more money you have, the more you can actually be a philanthropist and help to support the other people who've got the vision but don't have the finances. So I'm saying to you, beautiful people, understand this. You are not limited by finances. You are limited maybe by a scarcity mentality. Not all people are like that. But if you are battling right now and you feel, I want to do something at the cheapest price possible because I'm feeling sorry for everybody, don't dumb yourself down. Visionary entrepreneurs do not dumb themselves down. They stand their ground and they understand their worth, and people are willing to pay.